Hey, good morning, everybody. How the heck are you? Right? Good. Yes, I'm good too. Thank you very much. In fact, because of you guys, I've sort of hopped back on today. Lady messaged me yesterday and just sort of said, really missed your vlogs, you're going to be vlogging anymore. And I've had a couple of other people, friends and family and things that have sort of, where you been? So I've got no real excuses, I'm not going to make any. So it's just, yeah, I've been busy, but then we're all busy. It's just getting round to doing it, and the longer it goes on, do you know what I mean? It's the easier it is to kind of just not do it. That's it. So enough said. Anyway, I'm back on. So I just thought I'd have a quick catch up. I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee actually. So no, I'm not. I'm gonna have a ginger tea. So I thought I'd do that whilst I chat to you guys. So that's all right. Just finished doing all my housework. And I've got shopping coming, got a Tesco shop coming between 9 and 10, or 10 and 11, 1 or 2, I can't remember now, booked a slot anyway. Quite busy this afternoon. I've got my colleague Nikki coming round, so we've got a chat coming, got a little meeting this afternoon just to perhaps about doing some advertising, we'll see. So yeah, all going on. So yeah, just sort of a quick catch up. Let you know where we are. It's just been more of the same, to be honest with you. Really busy, running 4 groups now. So I do my Monday night group. I've got two sessions on a Monday night, and I've got my Saturday morning, which I took over end of April, and that's going really well too. So yeah, it's all good. Which else to sort of, not really much apart from work. It's not been a great deal of that. Well, a quick update on Dad. So before I do any of that, let's just rewind, pause, take a breath, and start fresh. So for those of you, I mean, I still find there's people still subscribing, so that's brilliant. So welcome. So let's do a little welcome to everybody. So in case you don't know, my name's Lynn. And I am a Slimming World consultant. So if you're not really kind of interested in Slimming World or that, then perhaps this maybe not be the right channel for you to listen to, because that's really what I talk about mainly. Obviously a little bit about my family as well, little bits and pieces. But it's mainly about, so that's how I sort of started the whole channel off in the beginning, was just because I was on Slimming World and I'd lost a fair bit of weight, and I just wanted to sort of document it and share it with the world, like you do. And then I kind of fell out of love with Slimming World. Probably about this time last year, I was beginning to get a little bit fed up. Perhaps that's the right word. And I now know that it's never the diet. When you give up on something, it's you blame something. You don't ever want it to be your fault. I've learned that one. So yeah, I blame Slimming World. So it's its fault. It wasn't. It didn't work. It wasn't working for me. So I'll shake the camera. Let me just pop you down 1 second. Hold on. Let's see if I can do something sensible here. How's that? If I pop you on there. Oh, can you see me? Yeah, kind of. Too bad. That's not really working very well, is it? Try something else. As you can see, I'm not terribly good at this stuff. Oh, there you go. That's working quite well. Just sat on my slow cooker. Hope you don't mind. What was I saying? So yeah, fell out of the world. Decided it didn't work. It wasn't for me, and I tried various other things. I'm just gonna get the kettle. 2 seconds. That's it. And I did a bit of Body Coach, little Joe Wicks things. I really liked him. Signed up for all that. Spent an absolute fortune on the diet, on the food, and of course, hey ho, that didn't really work either. Suffice to say that I kind of ended up having a word with myself, and I thought, right, I'm going to just get back on this and do it properly, which is what I did, and I fell back in love with it. And around about that time, the job that I had a little part-time job that they moved premises. How very rude. But they went to Camberley, which is about 18 miles from me, which I know isn't a million miles away, but it was a part-time role I was in anyway. At the time I didn't have transport, so because I was walking a lot and everything else, we decided we were cutting back anyway. We just ended up having one decent car rather than two half decent cars. So yeah, I didn't have transport, and this job suited me fine, so I could walk there, and then that was all good. And then they decided they were going to move premises. They were going to amalgamate with the head office in Cambling. I was invited to go along, of course, which was lovely, and they wanted me to go, but it was never really going to work for me. So that was that. Alright, let's just pick you up again. Gonna have a wander in the garden, shall we? My little dog's out there in the garden, sunning himself. The little Dave, say little, he's still little, but he's getting very old now. He's gonna be 15 in August. Well, it's quite breezy out here today. So that was that. So I was without work basically, and down the wall. So I just I left about June it was this time last year, towards the end of June, to be fair. So by this time last year, I knew that I was going to be leaving that particular role. So I upped sticks and I left there, and then just thought I'm just going to have the summer to myself, kind of, doing whatever, which I did, and then it sort of wears off after a little bit, doesn't it? You sort of think, I could do with something now. I know I didn't want to go full time, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go back to an office. I've done retail in the past. I even went down to an interview at Homebase. I thought, I'll give that a go, but it's not really me. I sort of always wanted to do something around slimming and dieting, because it's something I'd always had an interest in, just I'd never managed to get the weight off before. And then I suddenly thought about Slimming World, and I thought, I don't know, could I do something like that? I really didn't know. Fast forward to January of this year, and I went along to one of the ops meetings in Guildford. I came away from there. It was one Sunday afternoon, took up sort of 3 or 4 hours of the Sunday afternoon. I came back and I was convinced it wasn't for me. I think I did a vlog the very next morning to that effect, so not really for me or whatever. But anyway, before I decided completely, I thought I'm just going to speak to a lady that's a friend of mine who goes to one of her groups in my area, and she said she's really nice and she hasn't been doing it that long. Give her a call. So I did, and she kind of explained it to me a little bit better. And I started to sort of think, maybe. And then I spoke to one of the ladies that was also at the ops meeting, that's also a consultant, and she was absolutely gorgeous. She still is a lovely lady. Well, she's still a lovely lady, but she still helps me a lot, as does everybody. She's just gorgeous. So I decided to give it a go, and I thought, I'll go along for the interview. Again, I wasn't really sure if I'd get it or whatever, but so I went along to the interview, got the job, and that was probably end of January. And then February, our training started. And the training, I think I've said this on previous vlogs, is second to none. The Slimming World Consultants training is amazing. So that takes up quite a few months. So I launched my first group March the 13th of this year. So here we are, June. So 3 months later, silver consultant, running 4 groups. It's busy. The highs are high, the lows are low. They really are, because sometimes it's easy to think that it's quite an easy job. Some respects you just rock up and all you have to do is kind of love them, put your stuff out and go home. But there's so much more to it than that. There really is. It's the, I'm trying to say, oh God, this is a really hard job or anything, but there's way more to it than I thought there was. Put it that way. That's all I need to say. So that's kind of so for those new subscribers, that's really my life. I'm a mother of 3 sons, I've got 8 grandchildren, 6 granddaughters, 2 grandsons, and my little dog Dave, you can probably see in the background there. He's now come at 15. His sister died when she was 10 and a half, so we had them both a long time. I live here with my husband Pete, who's my rock, and also literally the name Pete does stand for rock. We've been married 39 years this year. I know. So we live in our little 3-bed semi-detached Until April of this year, my dad lived with me. For those of you that know that, and then he's got Alzheimer's and quite a few sort of health problems now. And my brother, we sort of decided that his time here was kind of coming to an end for all sorts of reasons. Me with my job and just getting upstairs and the Alzheimer's and the fact that I just wasn't able to commit to the time that it needed really. So he was going to have a hip operation, and we knew that he couldn't come back here to recoup. He'd have to go into some sort of respite place or something like that anyway. So my brother came up with the idea of, because at the time he was just renting a flat or whatever, so he sort of said, how about we buy one of these mobile home things like a lodge. So that's what they've done. So Dad's bought that, and it's down in Chichester. And he was going to get his operation was all sort of set up for his hip operation, and then when he went for like the pre-checks, they discovered he had something wrong with his heart, and he had to have more tests. So this is that's probably about as far as you guys know. And then I can't remember when this was now, a few weeks back anyway. They just had their tea. My brother sat down in the chair, and Dad was still sat at the table eating his dinner, and then there was this almighty bang, and Dad had completely conked out on the floor, and because he's on warfarin for his irregular heartbeat and things, it really hurt his head and there was blood everywhere. So my brother got him to the hospital and basically stayed in, did loads of tests. It turns out he needed to have a pacemaker fitted, because when he leant over or things like that, or just sometimes his heart rate dropped so much and it got to a stage where it was conking out. So he's had to have although we thought he was going down there for the hip operation, he ended up staying in for a week having a pacemaker fitted. Oh, I know, it all happens, doesn't it? All happens. So that all seems to be working great now. So we're just waiting to hear whether or not they will still go ahead and do the hip operations. It doesn't look as if there's a reason why they won't, but until we get the all clear, we don't know. So that's where we are with Dad. So he's in quite a good place now. He's feeling a lot better. He did lose quite a lot of weight because of the hip, and that he's not as active as he was, and he loved to walk. He really loved to walk. So he found that really hard. But now we've got the summer months, and being in the Dad calls it a lodge. It's like a caravan. But in the caravan where he is, it's on a holiday park, so he can stay there 50 weeks of the year. It's lovely. It's beautiful. So it's like he's on permanent holiday. My brother's absolutely amazing, awesome with him. So that's where we are with Dad. So yeah, I think we're pretty much up to date now. So not a great deal else to tell you. Still mad busy here most weekends. Obviously I like to see as much of the grandkids as I can do. And we've got a thing when it's their birthday, they have a sleepover here, because there's so many of them. They don't tend to get a lot of one-on-one with Gran and Grandad when they're here. So we started this thing. Whereas when it's their birthday, so as close to their birthday as possible, depending on if it's a school night or whatever, we take them out for a meal. Just me and my husband, and just Gran and Grandad, so they get literally one-on-one time. Choose a present, whatever, and then they stay over, and then my husband always sort of like books them into he calls it a hotel, so he gets a book out and he'll say to them, so you're staying over, is it just for one night, sir or madam, and what would you like for breakfast? So he takes their order for breakfast, and what time do you want to get up, and what time do you want your early morning call, and this, so they love it, they absolutely love all that, they giggle away, it's brilliant. So anyway, so we do that, they stay over and have breakfast, and then either their mum and dad comes and collects them, or we drop them right back off. So we've had that. So it was my eldest granddaughter, Bethany. So she was just turned 10. So she's the eldest and into double figures, I know. So she was 10. She turned 10 this week. So I had her, what night did she stay here? Saturday night? Yeah, I think she stayed here Saturday night. And then Sunday I had my other two youngest granddaughters. Not two, sorry, the youngest granddaughter and her sister, who's 2. I know, so I had them on Sunday for a little while, and then again for a little bit on Monday, because it was my son's birthday, my youngest son, and he was going out with his in-laws and he was being treated to a nice posh restaurant and things, which is lovely. Of course, it's not always the best place to take kiddies, is it? So I had them for a little while, but I said to him, you need to be back, I've got to go to group, I have to leave it at 4, but it's like when you're out and you have to wait for the bill sometimes, especially when you have these sort of meals where there's quite a few courses, it tends to roll on, so it got to about 10 to 4, 5 to 4, and I was not panicking because it was Bank Holiday Monday and Pete was here anyway. I had to sort of rush off, and Pete came and joined me later because when he's home, he comes up and helps me set up because I'm pretty much on my own for most of it while I set up. And then he comes back in the evening, and when we're finishing group, and then he'll help me pack away. And so yeah, it's a proper old family concern. Yeah, the house is constantly full of Slimming World stuff, but we're kind of getting used to that a bit more now. Like it's saying, I need more room. Especially like having the 2 groups now, sort of ordering more hi-fi bars and things like that. And we're doing the as I'm sure if any of you go to Slimming World, you'll know about the big Slimming World clothes throw. So this coming Monday, I get the first lot of people bringing in their big purple bags full of clothes. So I've got to find homes for those somewhere. And we haven't got a cancer shop in Basingstoke anymore, so I've got a feeling it's Newbury. So yeah, that's all going to be rather a bit of a challenge. And then the following Saturday, I'll get my Saturday groups their purple bags. So I know, I've got to try and find a home for those. And I haven't got a very big shed, and it's quite full anyway. I haven't got a garage. I've got a carport, but it's got no roof on it anymore, so I think it'll all be up in the spare roof. Oh dear. Oh, the trials of a Slimming World consultant. So yeah, my own weight's very. I don't know. The other thing I was going to say was I've decided I was going to call time on my weight journey. I said from the start that I wanted to be 8 stone 13. I'm only 5'1", and when I started off, I was way over that. So I've lost about 5 stone. I've since decided my body seems to quite like it where it is. I'm between I hover between 9'4" and 9'7", and my body. And I've been here pretty much most part of this year. I've got certainly down to the sort of 9'7" mark. So I've been here this really quite low now for over a year, and my body seems to quite like it here. And I'm thinking, I'm 57 now. You get this sort of, why am I being so stringent with myself? Why am I putting so much pressure on myself? If I'm quite happy. I'm in size 10 to 12 clothes, depends on where I buy it from, as always. I could probably lose especially around the old tum area. I think, as you get a bit older, us women, that seems to be where we carry this sort of tyre thing around the middle here. I take great comfort from the fact I'm not alone with that. I do know a lot of other women sort of tend to say that's where they sort of carry their weight now. But as you can see, like the bones are showing up here, and my face isn't fat anymore, and I get my original get engagement ring on. So my husband's bought me a brand new wedding ring. Look how beautiful is that. So I've got the new rings on. I'm comfortable in my skin. I can sort of take clothes off. I've got my shorts. Let me give you a little. So I've got my shorts on. So sort of side view. So I'm not fat. I'm not fat. I think I'm slim. I'd call myself slim now. I could probably go another half a stone, but it's just took the pressure off me. So if I do go down a bit lower, then I do. But I seem to be quite happy around between 9'4" and 9'7". That's working well for me. So I've got no complaints, and it's quite nice just to say I'm now at target and not having to be constantly bothered about getting to that extra next bit. If it comes off, it comes off. Of course, that said, I still stick to plan because I have to. This is because it's not a diet, and it's not a diet. It's too generous to be called a diet. So I stick to plan because it's what I know. It's what I love to eat now as well. I don't really know if I went to Morrison's yesterday. I went to my banking on a Wednesday, so I did my banking on the way up the hill. It's always the market, a nice Wednesday market. So I got a load of fruit for under a tenner. And I thought, I need some yoghurt, whatever. So I called in Morrison's, and I just quickly ran up the sweet and crisp aisle and biscuit aisle, and I can honestly say it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. Don't ever sort of think, oh my God, don't look, I can't, because I've just in such a new groove now. This is how I love to eat, and I love to eat the colourful foods. I much prefer. If I saw a plate of a fresh fruit salad and nice peppers and salad, and I naturally go for that. And that's not because I'm being adjust my halo or anything. It's just what I prefer. It's what I prefer. So that's not a hardship. That said, I still have my days where I'm. Again, for the new people, I do like my glass of wine now and again, and I have been known to sort of I turn into pack woman, I'm afraid. Yeah, so I haven't quite got don't suppose I'll ever really get to grips with that completely. So basically, especially now that I do a Saturday morning, so I really only have like one night a week. If I'm going to have anything at all, it'll be on a Saturday night, and I don't every Saturday. But if I do, and I tend to now try and stick to something like a Bacardi, because you get there just like 4 sins for one, and I tend to use my sins up on that. But yeah, I do go over. I do. Saturday night is if I decide I'm going to have a drink, and yeah, if I want to have a biscuit or I want to have a bit of chocolate or something, then I do because life's for living, and I've proved to myself now that I can stay beautifully on plan 99% of the time, and if I do go off track, it no longer knocks me, whereas it used to like floor me, and then I'd be, oh my god, and I'd be like trying to suck it up, trying to suck the calories back or the sins back, and restrict myself, and I don't do that to myself anymore. I haven't done for a long time. I now just beautifully get back on plan. That's the secret. That's, if you ask any slim person, they don't constantly say, not that they're on a plan, but do you know what I mean? They're not constantly dieting. There's times when they don't even think about it. They don't even miss a beat. They sort of have something what we would consider naughty: a donut, chocolate, wine, crisps, cheese, whatever. And they don't sort of, oh my god, that's it. Because you're not going to undo months and months and months and months of work in one foul swoop, are you? It's like one meal. It's a bit like that bunch of flowers thing, isn't it? Just because one wilts, you wouldn't throw the whole bunch out, because that'd be stupid. Same with your food, right? You just beautifully back on plan the next day. Just don't miss a beat, and that's how I do it now. And I know that's for life. So, obviously there's going to be holidays and things like that, and if I'm not able to follow plan again, I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. I'll make the best choices I can whilst I'm there. And even when you're out, there's not much you can't food optimise. And these days, it's quite okay to sort of your bed and breakfast or something. You can just ask for grilled bacon, or you can ask for a poached egg. Actually, I shared something in group last week, which was a bit of an eye-opener. We were talking about going to the seaside, and I gave them 2 scenarios of, the one where you go to bed and breakfast and you just, out the window, and you just have, the fried bacon and the fried egg and the fried bread and, the sausages and the hash browns, and you have all that. And then you go out and you have, a Magnum. And then you might have a hot dog and ketchup and onions. And then you might have a toffee apple from the fair in the afternoon. And then you might end up by the seaside and have fish and chips for tea. That worked out at a staggering 111 sins. Oh, I know. And everyone was like, I said, or, you're at the same bed and breakfast, and you get up in the morning and you just say, oh, could I have my bacon grilled, please? And would you mind sort of poaching my eggs rather than frying them? Don't have the fried bread, but you could maybe have just one slice, because they're not necessarily going to have the 400-gram wholemeal. But you could maybe have one slice of wholemeal bread. If you're toast, you get beans, you get mushrooms grilled, and tomatoes. So really good breakfast, get you going. And then instead of the Magnum, maybe have the Fab lolly. And then still go to the fair, but instead of having the toffee apple, maybe go for the candy floss. Really good option. And then in the evening, and then the burger van. So instead of having the hot dog or burger, go for a jacket potato with baked beans or something like that, and salad. And then for your tea, you could still have you can still get some fish from the fish shop, remove the batter, which saves you 18 sins. You could have that with some mushy peas, or you could even have like a surf and turf, go to a restaurant, have surf and turf, or a seafood restaurant and have, a nice piece of fish with new potatoes and salad, so you can still optimise. And that worked out at 7.5 sins. So for me, it's a no-brainer. And you still got some sins left, so if you still wanted to have something off plan, that was not off plan, but within your sin allowance, let me say, much better settling. So something that was still within your sins, you could, and still stay. I'm not saying you're going to come back with a whacking great weight loss. You might do. You might still come back and lose weight, but you're not going to come back and feel out of control and sluggish and beat yourself up, because you can, if you really want to. It's perfectly possible to do. So, there you go. I don't know how long I've been rabbiting on now. Does it tell me up there? No, I don't think it does tell me up there. So, yeah, it's been really nice to catch up. Sorry, it's been a bit of a while. It's just the way it is. Like I say, life does get in the way. Life's changed a lot for me this year. I'm not, a lot of the things I used to be doing, obviously, I don't get time to do now. But I've made so many new friends, and my world has gone from kind of like that to like that. It's just opened up so many doorways, and I always say, if you think between January and June, how many people I might have met, how many friends I might have made in that time, would probably been able to count on one hand potentially. Whereas now I've just met hundreds. I'm talking hundreds of people, from the consultants through to the members, through to just clients, just different people that I meet now, that I've come into contact with as a result of this. And it's just able to share that message, and that for so many years I was so miserable, didn't know a way out of it. I really didn't. I thought I was destined to stay as this fat, frumpy person that I always hated. And there was times, I've said again, there was times when I sort of made peace with it best I could, and I'd even kid myself and say, yeah, I'm fine with this, I'm happy staying like this, and perhaps I would be for a while. But do you know what? Once you've decided that you want to get to the target weight you want to be, whatever that happens to be for you, whether it be a few pound, few stone, whatever it happens to be, if you're not happy where you are in your skin, that never really goes away, it doesn't. So I think you come to the conclusion that sooner or later, I might as well just do this. Let's just get it done. And you know what? I've not regretted it for a second. Only the fact I didn't do it sooner. That's my only regret, is I didn't do it sooner. But I didn't, and there you go. So, let's not waste any time on lamenting over things we could have done, should have done. We can all do that, can't we? I don't want to do that to myself anymore. So now I'm much more rounded, kinder to myself person, and hopefully to others. Just quickly come back on this. I'm not sure whether that shut off or not, so if it did, apologies. But anyway, I'll see you guys really soon. Okay, take care.